I'll declare the meeting open at 12:23 p.m. The attendance is myself, Councillor Madsen, Councillor Harding, the Mayor, Councillor Antonelli, Councillor Madden, and Councillor Johnnick is an apology. And we have a motion that leave of absence be grounded for Deputy Mayor Nicole Johnnick. I'll move that. Is there a seconder? Councillor Antonelli. Put that motion. If there's no discussion, all in favour? Against? That's carried. Also in attendance is Councillor Augustine as an observer. And Councillor Cullen online. Sorry. Yep. Are there any acknowledgement of country on the Mayor?
Thank you, Councillor Tully. Ipswich City Council respectfully acknowledges the traditional owners as custodians of the land and waters we share. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging as the keepers of the traditions, customs, cultures and stories of proud people.
Thank you for that. Are there any declarations of interest in matters on the agenda today? Thank you. Confirmation of the minutes, that the minutes of the Finance and Governance Committee held on the 16th of July 2024 be confirmed. I'll move that. Is there a seconder? The Mayor, Councillor Harding. Any discussion? All in favour? Against? That's carried. Officers' reports. Item 2, the review of Chief Executive Officer delegations. Are there any questions for the relevant officer? I think it's pretty self-explanatory, a lot of it technical, a lot of it changes of names of legislation and descriptions. Are there any questions? I'll move that motion, A and B, as circulated. Is there a seconder? Seconder, Councillor Antonelli. Discussion? No discussion. I'll put that motion. All in favour? Against? That's carried unanimously. And I think I should have declared that the previous motion was declared unanimously as well in relation to the confirmation of the minutes. Item 3, concession for general rates at 6 Crypton Court, Carroll Park. There is some confidential material in relation to this. Is there any discussion that's needed with the relevant council officer? No. Thank you. I'll move that motion. Seconded. Mayor, Councillor Harding. Any discussion?
Chair, if I could say,
yeah. Yes. Sorry, Mayor.
Council has, I think, a very proud history of providing 100% concession to many, many charities and organisations that are in our community. So we'll be supporting this particular one for the Salvation Army Property Trust.
Thank you. Any other discussion? I'll put that motion. All in favour? Against? That's carried unanimously. Item 4, lease over freehold land at Turnberry Way at Brookwater. I've had some questions to the General Manager in relation to this, and he thinks it may be best to take this matter off the agenda for consideration at our next meeting. Are there any questions that people have? It's in relation to the actual process, not in relation to the desirability of the outcome that's been recommended. Any questions to the relevant officer? Thank you. I'll move that. I'll move that the matter be deferred until the September meeting of council of this committee. The September meeting. That's seconded by Councillor Madden. All in favour? Against? That's carried. Item 5, carried unanimously. Procurement, Colgar, if that's pronounced correctly, Weave Mapping Subscription 2024. Is there any questions of the relevant officer? No, thank you. I'll move that motion. Is there a seconder? Mayor, Councillor Harding. Discussion? I'll put the motion. All in favour? Against? That's carried unanimously. Item 6, procurement, Articulate 360 Teams Licences Subscription. Discussion required with the relevant officer? No. I'll move that motion. Is there a seconder? Councillor Madden. Any discussion in relation to that? I'll put that motion. All in favour? Against? That's carried unanimously. Item 7, procurement telecommunications services. Any discussion required with the relevant General Manager or other officer? Mayor Harding? Yes.
Probably a question for this, through yourself, just for a question. This is considering a $12 million over 7 years. Attachment 1 is confidential, I understand, but attachment 1 also has an attachment C, which is the evaluation panel final moderated results. May I ask for that particular document to be given to us before the ordinary, if I may, Chair?
Okay. Is that fine? Thank you.
No problem through the chair, yes, can
Thank
absolutely do that.
Is there any other discussion that's required? No, I'll move that motion. Seconder? Councillor Madsen? Okay. Seconded the Mayor. I had my eyes on you, but any discussion on the motion? All in favour? Against? That's carried unanimously. Item 8, procurement human resource information system. Is discussion required with the relevant officer? No, thank you. I'll move that motion. Seconder, Councillor Madden. Discussion? I'll put the motion. All in favour? Against? That's carried unanimously. 9, report of the Regulation Advisory Committee, number 1 of 2024, the 5th of August 2024. Is there any discussion required with officers or an officer? No. I'll move that motion. Is there a seconder? Thank you. I'll just say, just very briefly, because we had a very productive first meeting of the advisory committee, which at this stage is primarily looking at the review of our local laws through 3 steps. One is the development of a regulation policy setting out our strategic direction in the process. Step 2 will be repealing the regulation, local lawmaking process policy and replacing it just with a process rather than a policy. And the major step in that process, of course, will be step 3, the comprehensive review of our local laws. I'll say some more in brief detail at the council meeting, but it's a collaborative committee which I think will end in a complete review for our city of the local laws on a contemporary basis as well, to ensure that the local laws properly reflect the current issues. Whether it's dogs or parking or whatever, there's obviously local laws which will be retained, perhaps modified, and perhaps some other areas where local laws based on our emerging community will be required. Is there any further discussion? No, I'll put that motion. All in favour? Against? That's carried unanimously. Item 10, the monthly financial report. Is there any discussion required with the officer? No, thank you. I'll move that motion. Is there a seconder? Councillor Madden. Any discussion? Mayor Harding?
Mayor Chair.
Thank you.
It's just the beginning of the financial year, but I do note that the organisation has kept aside the financial assistance grant money, and they'll be dealing with that by phasing it over the year since we received it, I guess, out of sync for the year. So I'm just sort of noting that was done, so thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion at all? I'll put that motion. All in favour? Against? That's carried unanimously. Are there any notices of motion for the next meeting? That's nil. Are there any matters arising from the committee meeting today? No, thank you. That concludes close to the... we don't require a longer time than the standard 10 minutes, I take it, for the next meeting? No. Well, I'll declare this meeting closed at 12:32 p.m. Thank you.